Hello, my girls. I want to set the scene for you right now. I have spent the morning on a hot girl walk in the sun, recording potty episodes, and just kind of having a bit of a relaxed day. But I hope you're joining me either in the car or on your hot girl walk, because we have so much catching up to do. This is very much giving we're on a hot girl walk right now. I know I said I would commit to those every month, and I actually have been, but sometimes I just haven't been calling them that. So I hope you're enjoying them. Well, actually, to be honest, I've been getting really good feedback on the podcast lately, so I know you guys are enjoying them. I love hearing your thoughts as always. Let's get straight into it, because I think there is so much to catch up on. First of all, why does it feel like there was literally like no break over Christmas? I feel like that just absolutely flew. I feel like January absolutely flew. And I know we say this every year, but I feel like that normally happens like mid-year when the months fly. January flew. I don't know if it was because I was like working through all of it. I don't know if it's because I roguely went to the Sunshine Coast. Let's talk about it. You guys know, if you're longtime listeners, around March last year, 2025. Gosh, why am I actually like hesitating? You know when you spend the whole January writing the date wrong? That's me. Anyway, in March 2025, I was supposed to go to the business retreat, and then a cyclone hit fucking Queensland, and unfortunately, because of the time of year, it was daylight savings, I think. Yeah, it must have been. Wait, no, but that's April this year. Does it change every year? I don't know. I'm bamboozled. I hope you're here with me. But essentially, I needed to get like the earliest flight, and Jetstar are like the earliest flight out. They always do around 7 a.m. like fly out, and I needed to be in the Sunshine Coast at 9 o'clock. With the time difference and stuff, it just worked really, really well, and I was like, yeah, perfect slay. So I booked Jetstar. Like, no hate to Jetstar, but they're just always like delayed, always issues. So I do tend to feel like Qantas is the best bet if you're going to like you need the flight. You need to make sure it's not delayed. You know what I mean? And then equally, Jetstar is like the budget airline until you add all your fucking bags and shit. And then it ends up being the same price as Qantas anyway. So I'm like, well, I may as well just go with Qantas. Anyway, but for this, because Qantas didn't have a flight until 10 a.m., I had to go with Jetstar. And I was like, whatever. It's not even that deep. It's literally just an hour and a bit flight. Like, who actually cares? It's not like I'm flying to Japan with Jetstar. Like, that, I feel like is criminal. Never done it, but it just seems like, oh, I wouldn't even trust that. Anyway, I digress. Basically, the cyclone hit the Sunshine Coast and the retreat was cancelled, and Jetstar were like, no, we're actually still going to run the flight, so you can only get gift card vouchers. Like, you can't actually get a refund because we're not cancelling the flight. And I was like, oh, what? So I waited till literally the day before to see if they would cancel it, and they didn't. And like literally the next morning I tracked it. They flew the flight. They actually left 30 minutes early, probably because no one was on that fucking flight but a few people. But they flew that flight into the fucking cyclone, right? So for this whole past year, this fucking voucher has haunted me, because yes, I re-went to the retreat. Oh my God, why was that so weird to say? I re-went to the retreat at a later date. But then I didn't book with Jetstar. I ended up booking with Qantas. I think for the same reasons, like, fuck you, Jetstar. Like, you're literally going to give me a gift card that has a year expiry, mind you. Like, how many flights are you going on in a year realistically with Jetstar, who have a limited kind of like, it's not that I've like booked Europe or whatever, but they don't even fly there. They only do like the Asia Pacific and like domestic, you know, like they do Bali and Thailand and Japan, but like beyond that, I don't think they do much else internationally. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I booked a Qantas, and it was great. Like, Qantas pop off. And after I went with Qantas, I was like, oh my God, I still have to use these stupid Jetstar vouchers. Like, what am I going to do? Anyway, so then I went to Sunny Coast for a day, like flew in and flew out on that day to meet up with Tay and do a bit of like a full business audit situation for the business. You guys know my word of the year is growth, right? And I'm like, full fuck yes, sending it. So we did like a 4-hour sit down, fucking work it out. So that is why I went there. But we need to start from the top. So my partner works near the airport. The airport is criminally like an hour from me. And I was like, perfect, I've got a ride, because his office is literally near the airport. And I'm like, so slay. And I was like, okay, we need to get there at like 6:15. Was it 6:15? yeah, no, yeah. I said 6:15 because they kind of like close everything. I only had carry-on, mind you. I actually upgraded to the 14 kilo Jetstar carry-on and did no checked luggage because, sorry, the Sunshine Coast is the slowest checked luggage thing ever. Last time I waited an hour and I was like, I don't need checked luggage. I'm flying in and out the same day. Anyway, so I wanted to get there at 6:15, so we had to leave. I'm like blanking, but we had to leave at like 5:15ish, let's just say. We're out there, and then the fucking gates, like my house has gates, the gates were not fucking working. Then we had to run inside and go and get like fucking keys to like swap the gate and all this bullshit, and I'm like literally running late at this point. And then Luke's fucking around and like getting his fishing rod ready. Yeah, his fishing rod, because he was like, I'm gonna fish after work and wait for your flight to come back in. And I'm like, you couldn't have prepared your fishing rod like the night before? Like my bag was packed the night before. God forbid that you prep your fucking fishing rod. Anyway, and then at this point we've left 10 minutes late, and then we're going and the GPS is telling him to go like not the motorways, and I'm like, what? And he's like, it wasn't tolls off, like he had tolls on and he was like willing to take tolls because like, again, he takes tolls to work every day anyway, so like he goes there all the time anyway. And then it said like no tolls was quicker, and then we get every single fucking red light and all this bullshit. So I rock up there at 6:30. I'm like, great, boarding opens literally at 6:35. I walk into this fucking place, the security line is 10 lines deep, like wrapping around. I'm like, it's 6:30 a.m. Who the hell is here? And you know how on the website, you might not know, I didn't know, they do like live updates of how long the wait times were, and like literally it said like under 5 minutes. Bullshit. I was in that line for like 15 minutes trying to get through security. And then even like, you know, when you go through the monitor and you got to like hold your hands out, that took like so long. They were having like machine malfunctions. I was like, oh, and then this happens to me every time. I don't know if it's because I put my laptop in like another bag, like in a sleeve, and then put it in my carry-on bag. I thought this happened to me last time because I had like a full leather bag for my carry-on, like my handbag was full leather, but I changed bags this time and it still happened. They always hold my bag and start doing like one-on-one fucking scanning of it, and I'm like, do you want my sunscreen? Like literally there's nothing in there. All I have in there is like a little bit of food, my water, my fucking laptop. I had like sunscreen and like some makeup and stuff, and like my Kindle. Lock me up. You want to take my books? You want to take my thriller books? And I was like, oh, why does this always happen to me? And then I went over to him and then he was like, is this yours? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, oh, just take it then. I was like, thank fuck. Because at this point, you know what they're calling out on the fucking speaker? Final boarding for Jetstar. Fucking I'm like having a panic attack at this point because my gate is all the way at the back end of the domestic place, and like, yes, domestic is smaller, but I just wasn't prepared. First of all, I was late. That's on me because everything that happened, but I wasn't prepared for how busy it was going to be in there because last time I flew Qantas, and Qantas have their own domestic terminal, whereas Jetstar and Virgin share. So it was so busy in the Jetstar and Virgin, and I was like, God forbid, actually, I would rather pay $10 more. I know it's not $10, but you know what I mean. At the end of the day, like my Qantas ones that I booked ended up being cheaper than my Jetstar. I would rather spend a little bit more and be able to go through security without these long ass lines and be in the Qantas terminal than be stuck in the fucking Jetstar Virgin terminal because it was so hard to get through. It was so long, and then my gate was all the way at the end, so I actually had to start running because they were calling like final boarding. I was like, oh my God, they better not be like calling out my name because that's embarrassing. Please no. I'm running through, everyone's like fucking so slow, got nothing to do. I'm like, move out of my motherfucking way. Mind you though, Jetstar is very, very strict on their like weighing of bags and stuff like that. So when I got up there, even though I was running late, she was like, can I have your bag please? And I was like, oh fuck, of course. But I'd actually upgraded. So she starts weighing my bag. There's fucking nothing in it, girl. I'm literally flying out this same night. I had like a change of clothes and a different pair of shoes and stuff in there, and like that was it. And then she weighed that and she's like, can I have your handbag? And I was like, oh my God, like they take this so strict. Like it's 7 kilos with your handbag and your carry-on. And then I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, did you upgrade? Like, have you upgraded? And I was like, yeah, actually, to the 14 kilos. And then she was like, oh, can you show me? I was like, yeah. And then she's like, oh, you're good to go. And I was like, I'm literally like not holding up the plane. It was probably like 6:50 at this point, and they're flying at 7 type thing. So they hadn't closed the like gate and doors and stuff yet. But I was like, you guys are so strict. It's actually ridiculous. Like, my bag would have weighed probably 2 kilos. So did she really think my handbag was 5 kilos if I was in the 7 kilo package? Beats me. But anyway, I got on, it was fine, but I was like a bit panicked because I was running through and I was like, I can't fucking miss this stupid fucking flight because I'm literally flying in and out on the same motherfucking day. Anyway, it was all fine. I had my window seat, because I was so late in there, the two people next to me had to move for me. But he did put my bag up, slay. He was probably like, what is in this? Why is it like 1 kilo? Literally a change of clothes. Thank you. Anyway, flight was fine. I think the main things between like Jetstar and Virgin and like Qantas and stuff is like, Jetstar is just like, don't care. They're just like, get on, go. Whereas like Qantas is so like, go out of their way to be nice to you. And I know you like pay for that service. But as I said, this voucher was so long. Anyway, so I had to fly them. Then I was flying out that night. My flight was at 7. When I got to the airport early, I got there at like 3:30 only because like it was so hot obviously, and I didn't have that much to do outside of like meeting up with Tay. And I also met up with Mia. Mia is someone I met at the retreat, and then she just moved to the sunny coast. I'm so jealous of her. And so we did a hot girl walk and caught up, and it was so good, but it was just so hot, and I had to just like, I was like, I'm just gonna sit in the airport. The airport doesn't have free Wi-Fi. I thought it did. Sydney does. Sunny Coast doesn't. But I was like, I'm just going to sit in the airport and like work on the things that I've worked on with Tay and whatever. It's fucking chockers in there. There's not even one seat. All the fucking flights are delayed until like literally 6 p.m. And I was like, if all these flights are delayed to Sydney until 6 p.m, mine's going to be delayed because they share the flights. And I was like, it's not going to come back in time for me to get on it. Mind you, Luke's fucking waiting for me. He's already been waiting a couple hours at the airport for me because there's no point going home from the airport to come back to the airport, you know? And then I was like, I think my flight's going to be delayed, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I probably should have just gone and asked the earlier flight that got delayed if I could hop on if there was space, and asked if I could just swap. Like hindsight, I should have just done that. But I was like, oh, it should be fine. And then at like 5 o'clock after that one went, or 5:30, whatever, they started announcing that the other ones were delayed. And then my flight ended up being delayed until literally, I think I got on it at 9 o'clock. It was so delayed because the other one was delayed. And then they were literally stressing. Was it 9? It must have been 9:30. They were literally stressing because it's like an hour and a half to have the flight. And they were worried because Sydney Airport has a curfew of 11 p.m. So apparently, like I knew there was a curfew, but apparently if they fly and land in the curfew, they can get fined like $11,000 or some shit. And Jetstar's a budget airline. They can't afford the $11,000 fine. So they were like literally stressing like crazy, racing through, getting everyone on the plane. They did not weigh our bags. They did not give a shit. They were like, let's just get there in time. And we ended up landing at 10:50. I was walking through the airport at like 10:55. The whole thing was shut. Oh my gosh, the dog just fucking barked and scared the shit out of me. Anyway, I was walking through the airport, everything was like locked up, and I was like, this is criminal. Mind you, I'm actually starving because I don't know if you've been to the Maroochydore fucking Sunshine Coast Airport, but they literally have a Boost Juice, a Mad Mex, which who's getting Mexican before a flight? Like actually criminal, sushi, and like a cafe. And everything was like closed by the time the last flight was out. And I was like, oh, Jetstar, never again. I've been up since 5 a.m, like literally get fucked. And then I had to drive an hour home. So we got home at midnight, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Because like literally he was waiting for me for so long. And I was like, I can't believe this just happened. Like what a chaotic day. The next day I was like, first of all, I was like, oh my God, I need to move to the Sunshine Coast. I love it. But second of all, I was like, oh my God, I actually feel dead. I feel like fly in, fly out ain't for the weak. It ain't for the weak, because I was like, that was like actually exhausting, even though it was only an hour and a half flight. Like I feel insane saying that, but it just was like, I don't even know. Anyway, so if you're noticing things changing around here, you know what I said. This year is the year of growth. This year is the thing of doing it for the plot as well. Like just seeing what happens. Like, yes, last year was taking risks. We did that. Now it's like, let's go the extra mile. Let's go for the growth. Speaking about growth, I actually had to pull down my book reading goal for this year because last year I didn't achieve it last year, guys. I put it at like 70 or 75 because the year before I had done 70, so I increased it by 5, and then I ended up only reading 50, which I was super disappointed in myself with. Equally though, that just goes to show we can't be great at everything at once. And when I say great, like I'm saying, oh, I'm putting all this work into my business. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to read 75 books when it's like such a growth season and such a risk-taking season for business. And as I told you guys already, I shared with you guys that I grew the business like 300% last year. And that's not an easy feat if you're reading 24/7. So I did actually have to move it down to 50 books. But with all these flight delays and all this like random stuff I've been doing, I've actually already read 10 books. I read 10 books in January. And I think it also comes down to Opal. So they should sponsor me at this point. But if you've been keeping up with the recent episodes, I told you guys about Opal, which not the fucking tap on fucking Metro card, the fucking app, and it's a screen blocking app, if you will, and you can put your own little timers in it and you can block what you want to block. So I block Instagram and TikTok because they're just so easy to get caught in like a scroll hole in. And I do find it sometimes hard because obviously Instagram, like I do a lot of my work through Instagram and I always have like DMs and inquiries through Instagram and stuff like that, but equally like I don't need to be on there all the fucking time doing everything all the fucking time. And sometimes I might just be scrolling. I scroll less on Instagram, more on TikTok, I would say. Anyway, so I've been really consistent with Opal. I've got a few different timers on throughout the morning and midday and all of the things. And I actually currently have a 40-day streak on there. So instead of scrolling after I've done like a big morning of work, I've been reading, I've been blocking the apps. Have you been joining me on this? I would love to know if you downloaded it, how you've been finding it, and just like how you've been committing to it. What I love is it tells you how many hours and days and years you spend on your screen. So when I first joined, it told me to like put in what I like thought I'd been consuming screen time wise, like how many hours I'd racked up each day. So I like to just kind of put in a bit of a guess, you know, and then that was like, you're going to waste like 38 years of your life on your phone. And I was like, whoa, like that's confronting. And then now, since I've been using it for 40 days, I've saved like 13 years or some shit. Don't ask me the maths. I don't know how it works, but I believe it because my screen time has been down. I've been reading more. I've been feeling a lot better, just like central nervous system calm. And don't get me wrong, I still have days where I'm like, oh my God, fuck this stupid block thing. Take a break, because you can actually take breaks on it, which is good. And some days I'm like so over it, done, exhausted, and I just want to scroll hole in bed. But I think it is really, really good to just be across how much time you're actually spending on things. So that's how I've managed to read 10 books this month, as well as coming to work with Luke, because he always wants me to come in, but I just feel awkward going into like customer's house and whatever. So then I'll just sit and read, which is fine. Or I'll go for a walk, just depends on the weather. But that's been happening. What else has been happening? I actually realized I'm also kind of in my messy girl era. I know I said it growth era and stuff, but equally that can be with messy girl. And when I say like messy and hot mess, I thought it was like hot mess was giving like, yeah, I don't know, like you're just such a mess and yeah, it's just not the vibe. But other people have been defining to me hot mess as like you're hot as fuck, hot girl energy, but it's a bit messy. And I'm like, I like that better. I've clearly had the wrong definition my whole life. So really going into this hot mess era, and if you're like me and you thought it was defined in the first way, changing your tune, because apparently it is defined the other way. And then I looked it up, which I've never done before, and that's right. And I was like, okay, entering my hot mess era, or not even entering it, I feel like I've always been in it, but like just accepting it and excelling in it, because just because your room's messy doesn't mean you can't be consistent in the gym and all of the things. Just because, you know, some of your messages are unread doesn't mean that you can't commit to your goals and show up consistently. And something I've actually been doing consistently recently is stretching, and not just like doing 3 minutes after my sessions and before my sessions and whatever. I've been doing like full long stretching routines, trying to do them every single day, because my hamstrings were just so tight. My hips were so tight. I felt like I was constantly having like aches and pains, which apparently is like a PCOS symptom as well. At this point, what isn't a PCOS symptom? Anytime I have some type of symptom now, it's always allegedly linked back to PCOS. And I'm like, why is this fucking happening to me? Even like dry mouth, apparently linked back to PCOS. I'm like, oh, it never ends. So like if you're feeling that way at the moment, feeling a bit defeated by your PCOS, like I feel you. But yeah, so I get a lot of like leg cramps and like a bit of pain from that, mostly lower body. I don't really get any like upper body pain. So I've been doing heaps of lower body stretching and just breaking out my day as well. The benefits I've been finding from it is like, obviously like the blood flow, the creativity flow, and just like getting you moving, your body just feels at a release. It's like a release, stretching and stretching out your hips and, you know, stretching out your hamstrings. It just feels like at ease. Like I can feel really overwhelmed and stressed about stuff. And then once I stretch, I just feel like lighter. I know it seems kind of woo-woo, but it actually has been really, really helping me. And I don't really follow like a step-by-step routine. I just kind of stretch out what feels like it needs to be stretched and what feels good. And if you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to start doing this, trust me when I say at first it's so hard. It feels so uncomfortable. You can't really hold the stretch for long. It feels like almost embarrassing because you're like working up. It makes you feel like sweaty because it's like you're heating up while you're moving, and it makes you feel like you literally can't do anything and you're like sweating and your heart rate's up and you're like, I suck at this. But with time, every single day that you do it and chip away at it, it becomes so much easier and you feel so much better about it. So I want you to go in with that energy, knowing that like you're not going to be perfect at it, but it will work. And at first I was like, oh, maybe I should join some like, not Pilates, but maybe like bar or something like strengthening in the way of like, it's a bit of a stretch strengthen, even like yoga, but yoga's a little bit too slow and chill for me. So like, I was like, oh, maybe I should like look at something like that, because remembering that even like professionals like me still look to other professionals for elevation. Like, I'm not a bar expert. Like, I'm a personal trainer, I'm a nutritionist, I don't know anything about bar, and you'd have to do a whole nother course to do that, for example. And it's the same with like Pilates, it's the same with yoga. But if I look to other professionals for help, it actually like elevates my business and my brand, because it adds value to me and my services of like, if my clients are needing something, I can actually understand what they're going through because I've been through it, which really like, a lot of my services and offers, like you see so many coaches out there and they just offer like online coaching and like there's no substance to them. And I'm like, yep, lost 20 kilos. Yep, PCOS girly. Yep, done this. Yep, done that. Like, it's like you come to me for one thing, but you end up getting like 15 billion things. And then you walk away thinking, wow, Jess's prices are so like fucking affordable considering the amount of shit that she like has experienced and goes through and helps me with. And I've been really unpacking this with a lot of girls lately, especially on the PCOS piece. I know so many of you are feeling so frustrated and feeling like the world's over and you're not going to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. But trust me, you can. You just have to keep going and back yourself and be across like even 1%ers. I think the stretching has even just made my like walking better, being able to like walk longer, because sometimes on my walks towards the end I'd get a bit of a sore hip, and just knowing that little 1%ers like add up to it all the time. So I was thinking on that, but I haven't done anything about it. We'll see. I just feel like I don't want to plan too far in advance either, of like, oh, I'm going to join these classes or whatever, because just so much changes all the time. Like, 1 minute I'm on the sunny coast for the day. Mind you, I posted the best drinks ever that Mia and I got, iced coffees from this coffee van in the sunny coast. I got like a Biscoff cold foam. She got like a caramel cold foam. It was so fucking good. Like, literally, take me back. Anyway, and I posted it on my story on the day of, like a photo of us. It was really cute. And then the next day I posted the actual coffees and tagged the brand, and then, or like the business, because they're a small business and like support small businesses. And this weirdo guy swiped up my story, which he must have seen it through their story because they reshared it on their like coffee van page, and was like, oh, hey, like I saw you guys. Ew, it's always the men. It is always the men. And then I was like, oh my God, like it went into my message requests and I was like, oh, I'm not talking to this guy. I'm just ignoring. And then it just kind of like went away. I don't know I can't even remember if he followed me or if he just kept watching my stuff. And then the other day he messaged me again and was like, hey, are you free? And I'm thinking, hold the fucking door. Is it hold the door? Hold the front door? Hold the phone? I think it's hold the phone. Whatever. You, first of all, did not see me because I uploaded it a day late. So you did not see me. I am in Sydney right now. Second of all, even if I was free, I would never hang out with you. Because what a weirdo swiping up my story saying, hey, I think I saw you guys. I think I saw you guys. Ew. If you aren't man enough to come up to us in the moment, which I didn't want anyway, this guy actually looks kind of weird. But if you're not comfortable enough to come up to us in the moment, then you shouldn't be comfortable enough to fucking DM me. Like, what the fuck? I actually need to send a screenshot to Mia ASAP because I was telling one of my clients about it and she was like, did you tell her? And I was like, no. Oh my God, I didn't even think about telling her. And she like lives there. This guy's like fucking searching for us. Oh, I actually couldn't believe that. Like, the audacity of men these days. Surely he looked at my page and was like, oh fuck, she talks that much shit about men. I don't think I can be a part of this. But anyway, that just goes to show why you don't live post and don't tag where you are. And I was thinking, it's just so funny. Like, why are you claiming? Like, did he even see us? Probably not. This slimy man is just pretending he saw us to try to get an opportunity to talk to us. Ew. Ew. Literally, what the fuck? I can't. Anyway, sorry, as I was saying, I don't know how I got back on that track. Oh, but I've been dreaming about that iced fucking coffee ever since. And I can't find a good iced coffee anywhere here. I'm not even kidding. Like, they're first of all like $12 every time. And I'm like, why is this so expensive with nothing in it? Like, I'd get it was $12 if I got like a Biscoff iced foam fucking this, that, because it has so much stuff in it. Yum. But here, I got the shittest coffee the other day and it was literally $11.50 and it was so strong. And I posted it on my Instagram story. So go over to It's Just Hugo and follow me so you can keep up to date with these things and also be in the broadcast. But I literally got this coffee. I put extra milk in it because there's never enough. And it was still the strongest, most disgusting thing ever. And I was like, I can't drink this. But it was literally like $11.50. So let me save it. And I couldn't save it. It was like the worst thing I've ever had in my life. And I was like, the bar is so low in Sydney. Everyone says like Sydney's so great, and I'm like, guys, we don't even have good coffee like anywhere, at least in my fucking part of Sydney. My life's like shit over here. Can't get a good coffee. Can't get a good sweet treat. You gotta go to fucking Bondi for that. Fucking Bondi scrolls, bro. I'm actually dreaming about them. Anyway, the new year, the growth, how's it all going? I would love to know. Slide into my DMs and let me know how you've been going just with like going through January. I feel like it has been a bit chaotic and gone really crazy, and it feels like we haven't really had a break. But I would love to know if you settled on a word for your year and how everything's been feeling, whether it's been fun, exciting, tiring, all of the things. I would love to know. If you see me suddenly appear in the Sunshine Coast again, don't question it, because I still have $350 to spend on my voucher. That's the thing. I booked this flight on fly in, fly out on that day. I still have $350 to spend. And I'm like, do I just, book something for Luke's birthday? Even though this guy is so ungrateful that I talked about booking something and I said, oh, pick between these places. Like, which one do you want to book? And then he was like, oh yeah, like this one, whatever. And I'm like, okay. And then the next week he was like, oh, blah, blah, asked me to work their on-call shift for this and that. I was like, excuse me? We're supposed to be going away. Like around those dates. We obviously like didn't settle on dates and I haven't booked anything yet. I just have this $350 sitting over my head because it expires in 1 month. But I was like, excuse me, you can't. I have to book these flights. And like, yes, you can book them in advance. This is the thing about Jetstar as well. Sorry to go on a Jetstar tangent, but literally they put the 1 year date on it and then you can book, and I think you could get like another voucher, but you can't change destinations. So say I booked for Sunny Coast again and then I can cancel that flight, get another voucher and change, but it has to be Sunny Coast again. I couldn't change to like Brisbane or like Melbourne or whatever. Like, not Melbourne, you guys know how I feel about Melbourne. Wouldn't go there, but you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't be able to change. So whatever I kind of commit to, I have to commit to, and that is fucking frustrating me. I don't know, guys. What are your thoughts? What do you think I should do? Where should I go for? Because then $350, I'm going to end up spending extra just to go with fucking Jetstar at this point, because if it's both of us, it will be double. So dare I just go to the Sunshine Coast again to get this Biscoff latte? Double dog dare me to do that, because I literally have been dreaming about it. I'm a Biscoff girly through and through. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the Hot Girl Walk entertainment. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to rate the podcast 5 stars, share it on a story, share it with your friends. Again, it's the growth year, so helping us grow on the podcast. I'm excited for the rest of the episodes of this month. You guys are going to really enjoy it. That is all from me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Mwah.